That boy just got paid, man, paid. And honestly,
Oh,
dude, I think it's very a lot of people like to say that it's now deserving, man. But honestly, I think it is. I mean, a lot of people like to forget that last year he a week 7 he got injured and he was playing on an injured knee. Avoided a major injury on his knee, so that means that that injury was lingering the whole year. And yeah, they didn't really go far in the playoffs. They didn't even really make playoffs. But dude, like if you got a busted quarterback, at least giving you some wins, playing on a damn knee like that. I don't know,
Yeah.
man. The years before that, he proved a little bit. He almost came back on KC, almost took out KC in the playoffs. So
Well,
yeah.
here's the other thing too. If it's already not nice being the football Fabio, as part of his original deal, he had still 2 years left on his deal. So in 2026, he's going to get an additional $37.5 million. So he's locked up in Jacksonville for technically until 2030. Brandon, what do you think about that? 2030 for Trevor Lawrence? That's a long time.
I mean, he's going to get well acquainted with Duval County. But I think in addition to that, I think a lot of the hate that he's getting as far as the contract, people thinking he's just not worth it. I think people are still looking back to his rookie season, but that was that was such a terrible season. Like, and that's not even his fault. You could say he had Urban Meyer as head coach. Like, yeah, were the stats great? Not really. But would any quarterback thrive under the worst coach in NFL history? I think not. But you look at other quarterbacks today, like seeing what some of the deals that they made. My Bucks, they signed Baker Mayfield 3 years, 100 mil. He's making around 30-40 million dollars a year. And some would say that Trevor Lawrence is above Baker. And in addition to that, they both have kind of struggled with injuries throughout their career. So, I think that the salary that Trevor's going to be making is pretty reasonable, and especially for a quarterback at his age. Like you said, it's an extension on top of the current deal he's got. So you still got a couple more years under his rookie deal. Like, he's making lower money than under market value. So if you're Jacksonville, you're paying a guy that you believe to be your quarterback of the future, a generational type quarterback coming out of college, and I still think he has plenty of potential to live up to that.
So I'm actually kind of glad that you brought up the Urban Meyer thing, because that's something that I feel like the term Urban Meyer, it's almost like the boogeyman now. Everybody says it, everybody starts freaking out. But here's the real deal with Urban Meyer, though, too. He was only there for 13 games. Trevor Lawrence played in 50, and he still leads the league in turnovers at 60. So the excuse has got to get over that whole Trevor Lawrence had Urban Meyer thing. It was only 13 games, and he's had 2 seasons since, two and a quarter, if you will.
yeah,
So
but
the Urban Meyer thing, I think, gets thrown out there a little bit too much. It's almost like they're giving you a pass for no real reason, really, though. Yes, Urban Meyer arguably was one of the worst hires of all time. That is easy. I looked it up earlier. He is, I think, the fourth shortest coach. Lou Holtz and Bob Stoops, I believe it was, were the other two. There was one more in there that were fired before him. So it's not the first time this has ever happened. So I do think it was a debacle, yes. But it was 13 games, and since that point, they gave him a Super Bowl winning quarterback. A Super Bowl quarterback coach who did play the positions, who understands what to do. So Trevor Lawrence's biggest deal is his turnovers. That's where the thing has come with Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he still leads the league in in turnovers. It's 60.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Brendan.
No, I was just gonna say, I know, like you said, Urban Meyer shortest lived tenure, but I feel like a lot of people though that want to talk negatively about Lawrence, yeah, to your credit, still does lead the league in turnovers, but I feel like most of the people just still look back to that season and look back to how awful it was, and that's where I think a lot of people's memories of Lawrence have come. Like, yeah, they don't. The casual fan, they just look back, they just see they're not big Jaguars fans. They haven't really paid attention to the team since that rookie year. They haven't seen the success that the team has had overall. And yes, the things that he does need to work on still, which is the turnovers. But again, that's mostly casual viewers, ones that aren't diehard Jaguars fans, are tuning in or paying attention as much as we are.
What you got, George?
Yeah, I was just gonna mention with his rookie year, it was a little time ago, so there's a lot of improvement that he should have made from then, and I think he has made improvement from then.
Yeah.
But for the people that have been saying like how you mentioned, Steven, not saying that you say this, but I know other people have said this, that his rookie year shouldn't be an excuse for him why his turnover ratio is so high and how he's been playing like crap and all this stuff, because if you have someone if you got the blind leading the blind, you're not going to get anywhere. And that's what Urban Meyer was doing. He came from a college football success background to the NFL where it's completely different. You're not coaching 18 to 22-year-olds. No, you're coaching from 18 to 40-year-olds technically.
Yeah.
And it's a completely different personality trait you gotta have, attitude trait you gotta have, mentality that you gotta have when you're coaching these adult males, not young adult males, older adult males. You gotta have a different mentality on how you're going to win, how you're going to treat people, and all that stuff. And I think Urban Meyer had no type of success in any type of coaching form when it came to the Jacksonville Jaguars. You even saw him at a bar with some other lady dancing while they were literally 0-7, and he was supposed to get on the plane to go with his team back to the crib, back to give him maybe a speech on how, we got to turn the season around or whatever. But no, he was with some blonde at the bar.
Yeah, my man didn't even fly home with a team.
That's what I'm saying.
He flew home separately. I mean, what a bad year for Urban Meyer, though. Honestly, the video comes out with the other lady in the bar, allegedly. Whatever, you take it how you want it or whatever, But I think with Urban Meyer, I thought that was a really. I'm not gonna lie, I was excited as hell about it. I thought this was gonna be a great hire. Like, this makes total sense. Especially maybe because I see my background here, diehard Florida fan here. So I was looking back on the Florida years, and I thought it made a lot of sense. They brought Tebow back. Everything was looking in the right direction in here. But I think what people kind of forget with Urban Meyer is, in the beginning, Urban Meyer started out as a really good coach in college, but then Urban Meyer started handpicking where he was going to go to get success. Florida was set up so amazing whenever he won his championship run. In the moment that whenever they lost, I mean, I hate to bring him up whenever, because of the bad stuff that happened, they lost Aaron Hernandez, they lost all their top talent, all of a sudden he has heart problems, and he goes and makes a lot of money at Fox Sports talking about stuff, while secretly you can see he's looking at other teams and seeing where he can make his next move. Where does he make his next move? Ohio State, who was, let's go again, one of, if not the best team in the country. So he goes there for a little while. All of a sudden, Ohio State never really fell off by any stretch, but you get my point here, is that the writing was on the wall. They're going to have a bad couple of years, and by bad Ohio State standards, where they're like fifth in the country or something, so, bad Ohio State, but most colleges would take Ohio State's run. But anyways, having said that, saw the writing on the wall, the NFL job, make a lot more money, get to control things and stuff. So Urban Meyer, I think, is a good coach in the right setting, but I think you're onto the right thing of that. You can't talk to grown men the way you can talk to these college kids and be in complete control. They don't have to show up.
And I mean, that in general, though, too, is a great topic to kind of explore as well, like down the road, like the dynamic between college coaches transitioning into the NFL. Obviously, you rattled off a couple big names, Bob Stoops, Lou Holtz as well, like on that, in that list of great, phenomenal college coaches, terrible head coaches. But yeah, like, just getting back to Lawrence, though, like, all that aside, like, he's in the right system, I think, with Doug Peterson. He's a great coach. Like, yeah, does he still need to work on his mistakes? Of course. Could you also mention that the team around him hasn't been the best? Yeah. I mean, yeah, his number one receiver was suspended for a good portion of his time there because of his gambling issues. And,
that was 1 year. I mean, like, I know. I like, and I'm not trying to make this out to be like on anti Trevor Lawrence. I personally think Trevor Lawrence is a really cool, great person. I don't think he sucks. So I don't want to make this come off as like I'm like just totally bashing Trevor Lawrence. My problems with this contract is that there was 2 years left on the deal. There was no reason to do this now. If you really think that's your dude, why not keep him that way and build a little bit more around him? But no, instead you gave him all this guaranteed money and all this contract for no real reason. That was my biggest problem with the contract.
I disagree, because I think that the reason would be for next year and the year after that to sign other people. Because if you want to build a franchise that's going to compete with the Kansas City Chiefs, with the San Francisco 49ers, in your division, in your conference, the Baltimore Ravens, you're gonna want a complete full rounded team. So if you pay your quarterback now, you don't have to worry about paying him later.